In this video, we're going to talk about 6 things that seniors must forget about for a peaceful and happy life. It's not just about avoiding stress or discomfort, it's about freeing yourself from invisible burdens that silently weigh on your heart and mind. These burdens aren't always obvious, but they affect your well-being every single day. You deserve to live the rest of your life feeling at ease, not constantly battling anxiety, worry, or regret. Today, I'm going to show you how to start that journey toward peace and happiness. You'll learn how certain habits and ways of thinking have been quietly stealing your peace. These might be things you've been carrying for years without even realizing how deeply they do. Maybe they've become so familiar that you don't even notice the toll they take. But here's the truth. It's not too late to make a change. By letting go of these things, you'll find the peace of mind you've been longing for. It's time to let go and live freely again. As we age, have you ever felt like you're losing control of your body? Maybe your joints ache, your muscles feel weaker, and even getting out of bed in the morning seems like a struggle. Have you found yourself wondering, is this what the rest of my life is going to be like? You may look in the mirror and see the years catching up with you, and it can be overwhelming to think about the future. Well, I have something important to share with you today. These challenges, these feelings of decline, are not just an inevitable part of getting older. They don't have to be. I know it might seem like there's no way out, but the truth is, some of the issues you're facing right now might be caused by habits, choices, and even mindsets that are subtly taking away your peace. Here's the surprising truth. These challenges you're experiencing, whether it's muscle weakness, joint pain, or the general decline in energy, are not just the natural course of aging. They are often the result of habits we don't even realize are harming us. It could be the way we eat, the things we think about aging, or the routines we've gotten stuck in. The foods we consume, the stress we hold on to, and even the way we approach life itself can make these issues worse, sometimes without us even noticing. And that's exactly what's been silently stealing your peace and draining your vitality. You see, the things we think are just a part of getting older, like feeling tired or achy, can often be traced back to choices we've made over time, habits that we've held on to without realizing the long-term impact they've had on our bodies and minds. These aren't just inconveniences, they're obstacles to the peaceful, joyful life you deserve. Number 1, constant worry. We all worry, especially as we get older. It's natural to have concerns about your health, the well-being of your loved ones, or what the future holds. But here's the thing, when that worry becomes constant, it doesn't just stay in your mind, it takes over your body too. Stress and anxiety trigger a response in your body, releasing hormones like cortisol, which is meant to help you handle immediate stress. But when it's elevated for long periods, it starts to have serious consequences. Chronic stress can raise your blood pressure, weaken your immune system, and even contribute to heart disease. Over time, this constant worrying accelerates the aging process, making you feel physically and emotionally drained. Imagine the toll that this can take over the years. You wake up in the morning already stressed about the day ahead, and you go to bed at night replaying all your fears and concerns. The more you worry, the more tired and overwhelmed you feel. But there's hope. Letting go of this constant worry doesn't mean ignoring problems. It means learning to manage your stress in a healthier way. The first step is to embrace mindfulness. Instead of worrying about what might happen tomorrow or next week, focus on the present moment. Deep breathing, meditation, or even taking a few minutes each day to simply be still and clear your mind can make all the difference. This shift in mindset allows you to experience peace, letting go of the overwhelming weight of worry. Before we move on to the next worry, make sure to subscribe to our channel. By subscribing, you'll get more helpful tips and easy-to-follow advice on how to lead and enjoy a peaceful, happy, and healthy life. Don't miss out that subscribe button now. Number 2, unhealthy eating habits. As we age, many of us find ourselves holding on to certain eating habits that are far from healthy. It might be something as simple as indulging in sugary snacks, processed foods, or salty comfort foods that seem to bring us temporary satisfaction. But over time, these habits start to catch up with us, and we don't even realize how deeply they affect our bodies. The excessive salt and sugar in our diets contribute to high blood pressure, diabetes, and even joint pain. Processed foods can cause inflammation, making those aches and pains feel worse and leading to a lack of energy. This isn't just about weight gain or looking different. It's about how these foods affect your energy levels, mobility, and overall well-being. It's easy to think that these habits are just part of getting older, but they don't have to be. You don't have to continue living with the constant fatigue, joint pain, and sluggishness. By letting go of unhealthy eating habits, you can make a massive difference in how you feel every day. This isn't about drastic changes or cutting out everything you enjoy. It's about gradually replacing unhealthy choices with foods that nourish your body, things like fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains. These foods will provide the nutrients your body needs to keep your energy up and reduce the inflammation that causes discomfort. Imagine waking up feeling lighter, more energetic, and able to move with more ease. That's the power of choosing healthier foods. Number 3, sedentary lifestyle. As we get older, it's easy to fall into a routine where we become less active. After all, it can feel like our bodies don't work as well as they used to, and we may be afraid of hurting ourselves if we push too hard. But what many don't realize is that being less active actually makes things worse. A sedentary lifestyle contributes to muscle weakness, poor circulation, and even depression. Your body starts to feel stiff and weak because it's not getting the movement it needs. And the longer you stay inactive, the harder it becomes to get back to being active. This can lead to a vicious cycle of feeling less able, which leads to doing less, which only makes you feel worse. The good news is that it doesn't have to be this way. You don't have to run a marathon to break free from this pattern. Incorporating light exercises like walking, stretching, or yoga into your daily routine can reverse these effects and boost your mood. These activities increase blood flow, improve flexibility, and strengthen muscles. Not only will your body feel better, but your mind will feel clearer and more positive too. Starting with just 10 to 15 minutes a day can make a huge difference. It's not about pushing your limits, it's about taking small steps every day to keep your body moving. And over time, you'll feel stronger, more energized, and more at peace. Number 4, negative thinking and self-doubt. As we age, it's common to start doubting ourselves. We may question our worth, feel like we no longer have a place in the world, or even believe that our best years are behind us. These feelings can be incredibly damaging. Negative thinking leads to isolation, depression, and a loss of confidence in ourselves. When we feel like we're not valued, or that we don't have a purpose anymore, we withdraw from the things that bring us joy. This self-doubt can even affect our physical health. Stress and anxiety caused by these negative thoughts can lead to physical symptoms like headaches, high blood pressure, and fatigue. But it doesn't have to be this way. Letting go of self-doubt starts with embracing self-compassion. You need to recognize that your value doesn't diminish with age. You've lived a lifetime of experiences, and that alone gives you immense worth. Surround yourself with positivity, friends, and loved ones who remind you of how important you are. Engage in activities that make you feel good, whether that's volunteering, taking up a new hobby, or simply spending time with the people you love. By shifting your focus from self-doubt to self-acceptance, you'll begin to see the beauty in yourself and your life. Once again, number 5, avoiding change. Change can be scary, especially as we get older. Many seniors resist change, whether it's learning new technology, adopting healthier habits, or adjusting to life transitions. It's easy to become comfortable with the way things are, even if they aren't ideal. But avoiding change only keeps you stuck. The longer you resist change, the more isolated and disconnected you become. You might feel like you're no longer growing, and that can lead to feelings of sadness and frustration. But here's the secret. Letting go of the fear of change opens the door to happiness and fulfillment. Embracing new opportunities for growth, whether it's learning something new, exploring a hobby, or even adjusting to new ways of thinking, can reignite your sense of purpose. It's never too late to learn a new skill or pick up a new interest. You might be surprised by how much joy you can find in the process of learning and adapting. Change doesn't have to be overwhelming. It's about taking small steps toward new experiences that bring you excitement and fulfillment. Number 6, carrying grudges and unresolved conflicts. Holding on to past anger, resentment, or hurt from relationships can weigh heavily on your heart. The emotional burden of carrying grudges can affect your mental health and overall well-being. You may find that unresolved conflicts from the past are preventing you from fully enjoying the present. The pain from those old wounds can interfere with your relationships and prevent you from experiencing peace and emotional healing. The longer you carry that burden, the heavier it becomes, leaving you feeling bitter and disconnected. Forgiveness isn't about letting others off the hook, it's about freeing yourself from the pain. Letting go of grudges allows you to make space for peace in your heart It's not always easy, and it may take time, but releasing the anger and hurt will give you emotional freedom. You don't need to forget what happened, but you do need to stop letting it control your life. By embracing forgiveness, you allow yourself to heal, to move forward, and to find the peace you've been searching for. By letting go of these 6 things: constant worry, unhealthy eating habits, a sedentary lifestyle, negative thinking, resistance to change, and holding on to grudges, you'll open the door to a life filled with peace, vitality, and happiness. These aren't just small adjustments, they're life-changing decisions that will affect your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. It's time to stop letting these burdens hold you back. You deserve to live a peaceful, happy life, and it all starts with the choice to let go. The journey may not always be easy, but it will be worth it. Embrace the change, take that first step, and start living the life you truly deserve. Can you relate to any of this? Have you ever felt trapped by your worries or stuck in old habits? It's completely normal to feel that way. You've carried these worries, habits, and fears for so long, they've almost become a part of who you are. I understand how overwhelming that can be. And I know how it feels to look at your life and feel like you're stuck in a loop, repeating the same concerns day after day, unable to break free. Maybe you've tried before to make a change, but it felt too difficult, too daunting, and now it feels like it's just too late. But here's the thing. It's never too late to let go of what's holding you back. Imagine, just for a moment, what your life could be like if you released those fears, those burdens, those negative habits. Can you picture yourself waking up in the morning without the weight of worry clouding your thoughts? Can you see yourself moving through your day with more energy, more joy, less pain, and more peace? That's the life you could have. The life that's waiting for you, just on the other side of these changes. It won't be easy, but it's possible. And it's worth every step you take toward it. Now, let's break down why these habits and mindsets are affecting your health, not just today, but over time. When we carry stress, when we eat unhealthy foods, or when we don't move our bodies as we should, our bodies react. Stress is one of the most insidious culprits. You may not even realize it, but when we worry, our body releases stress hormones, like cortisol. Cortisol is a hormone that's meant to help us deal with immediate danger. It's part of our fight-or-flight response. But when it's consistently elevated, like when we worry about our health or the future, cortisol triggers inflammation in the body. This inflammation can lead to a host of issues, from joint pain to heart disease, and even to a weakened immune system. The more chronic stress you carry, the more inflammation builds up. And over time, it accelerates the aging process, leaving you feeling older, more tired, and more vulnerable. Similarly, the foods we eat have a huge impact on our health. Processed foods, excess sugar, and salty snacks may taste good in the moment, but they are causing damage to your body on a cellular level. High sugar intake leads to spikes in insulin, which can contribute to conditions like diabetes, while excessive salt causes high blood pressure, a major risk factor for heart disease and stroke. These habits not only affect your physical health, they affect how you feel every day. When your body is weighed down by unhealthy eating choices, it becomes harder to find the energy to do the things you love. It becomes harder to feel motivated, to get out of bed with enthusiasm, to embrace life. And that's not even touching on the effects of inactivity, which leads to muscle weakness, poor circulation, and depression. All of this contributes to a cycle that can feel nearly impossible to break. But the most important thing to know is this. All of these issues, stress, poor eating, inactivity, are interconnected. When one of them gets out of control, it often causes the others to spiral. This is why it feels like such a heavy burden. The good news is that by making simple changes, you can begin to break that cycle and reverse the damage. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Little steps add up to big changes. But here's the good news. You have the power to change. You can choose to eat better, move more, think positively, and embrace change. It's not about perfection, it's about taking small, manageable steps that will make a huge difference in your health and happiness. You don't need to change everything all at once. The goal isn't to overhaul your entire life in one day, it's to start small and build from there. Let's take worry, for example. Start by practicing mindfulness. It's simple. Just take a few moments each day to sit quietly, breathe deeply, and let go of the worries that cloud your mind. Focus on the present moment, what's happening right now, not in the past or the future. This can help calm the mind, lower your stress levels, and improve your mental clarity. Over time, you'll notice that the constant worry starts to fade away. You'll feel more at peace, and you'll have more energy to focus on what matters. Next, start making healthier food choices. Begin with small changes. If you're used to eating a lot of processed food, try replacing one meal a day with something lighter and more nutritious, like a salad with lean protein or a homemade smoothie with fruits and vegetables. Little by little, you can gradually replace unhealthy choices with better options that will give your body the nutrients it needs to thrive. You don't need to be perfect, just consistent. This simple shift can make a world of difference to your energy, your mood, and your long-term health. Getting moving is another key step. You don't have to start running marathons or spending hours at the gym. Just a 10-minute walk around the block every day can help. Stretching in the morning, doing a gentle yoga routine, or simply getting up and moving around every hour will improve circulation, ease joint pain, and boost your mood. Movement is medicine. It doesn't matter if you're starting slow. What matters is that you're starting. Finally, it's important to embrace the idea of change. Change isn't something to fear. It's something to embrace. Start by learning something new. Maybe there's a hobby you've always wanted to try, or a skill you've always wanted to develop. Take a class, read a book, or join a group of like-minded individuals. Embracing new experiences will not only enrich your life, but will keep your mind sharp and engaged. It will remind you that you're never too old to grow, learn, and enjoy life. You deserve to live a life of peace, joy, and fulfillment, no matter your age. Letting go of these 6 things is the first step toward a healthier, happier you. The changes I've talked about today might seem small, but trust me, they'll add up. Every step you take toward letting go of worry, embracing better habits, and living more fully will lead you to a brighter, more peaceful future. It's never too late to make a change, so let's start today. You don't have to do everything at once. Take it one step at a time, and as you move forward, you'll begin to see the incredible difference these small changes can make in your life. Together, we can break free from the things that steal our peace and embrace the peaceful, happy life we've always wanted. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with friends or family who might need it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more inspiring content. We're here to support you every step of the way. Let's keep this journey going together. Click that bell icon so you never miss out on our next video. And remember, you're never too old to make a change for the better. Take the first step today, and let's grow together. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.